Hi, I'm Laura and welcome to my income stream breakdown video. In this video, I'll share with you my 5 income streams that I had in October and how much I earned. If you saw my last video where I budgeted my October salary for November, then you'll know I'm on a bit of a mission to get on top of all my finances this year and build wealth for the future. And part of that mission is building out a solid emergency fund and also being able to invest quite aggressively into the stock market and other assets. And having extra side income coming in is going to help me achieve that a lot quicker. So long term, my goal is to hit 1 million by retirement, and I would like to retire early. So I'd like to retire at 60. I'm 42 now. I do think it's realistic and achievable, especially if I continue on the path that I've laid out for myself since this summer. My future finances have always been something that caused a lot of anxiety for me. While I may not look and sound it, I do actually come from a fairly disadvantaged background. And while I've done really well for myself and I do have a really good salary, I've always felt like I was just keeping my head above water, and it has always been a source of anxiety. But getting on top of my finances and actually building out side hustles has created a lot of relief for me, and it's giving me a lot more confidence moving forwards. So let's get stuck in and have a look at what those 5 income streams were. First up is my main salary. This is the bulk of my income. So this brought in £4,533. As I've said, this is my core income stream, and it's a great base. It's great stability for me. I am very grateful for this. I've worked really hard to get where I am, and I do want to continue as well, striving in my career. I would love to get to a point where I could perhaps, replace my full-time income with, side incomes or perhaps my own business, but we'll see. And so while this income provides stability for me, the side hustles are allowing me to build on this. And as I mentioned in my intro, the goal is to then use the side hustles to build that emergency base or invest. Now, a lot of the extra money I'm making will likely go into a pension, like a self-invested personal pension, or perhaps I will do a larger salary sacrifice. And that's simply for tax reasons because I am a higher rate taxpayer. Anyway, so enough about my main income. I will be budgeting this every month. So I already have a video where I budgeted my October salary for November, and I'll be doing that monthly so you can see how I split out that salary, how I split it out into savings and investments and essentials, and then also give myself some fun money as well. Next up, we have my favorite side hustle, which is cat sitting. And this month was a bumper month, and I earned £943.65, which is insane. I don't expect to recreate this every single month or even again. I ended up having a lot of bookings. I was back to back and I was also double stacked. So when I'm doing cat sitting, I look after cats in a couple of ways. So I'll either go and stay at the property, or I will do drop-in visits. So I had a bunch of homestays back to back, and on top of that I was also doing drop-ins, and so that's how I ended up earning over £900. I absolutely love cat sitting, and I totally recommend it as a side hustle if you love cats. It's so flexible, and it's probably the fluffiest, cutest side hustle you can do. I am a huge cat fan. I did have a cat for 14 years and her name was Dragon, and she really was like my best friend, and we lived in China together. That's why she was called Dragon. She did pass away a couple of years ago, and right now I would say I'm currently between cats. And cat sitting has been a really nice way to just reconnect with some furry felines, have that little kitty energy back in my life and also make a little bit of money when I'm doing it. But I really do recommend cat sitting as a side hustle, but only if you really, really like cats. You can also do it for dogs as well, but you have to remember, like, this isn't just something to make money. Like, these are people's animals, they're their pets. And when I look after cats, I do look after them as if they're my own cat, and I really try and build a bond with the cat. And, you know, if you're doing this as a side hustle, just remember, like, you will be, you know, having to, you know, it's not all cute and fluffy all the time. You will be having to, like, clean out litter trays, and, like, you know, sometimes cats can do things, like one of the cats I was looking after, he kept getting in the bin and, like, tipping it over, and I would come home from work and have to, like, clean up the bin, and I had to try and find a way to stop him getting in the bin, etc. But yeah, it is a really, really nice side hustle, and I love all the cats I've looked after, and I really enjoy, like, getting to know them and building a little bond. Next up is my interest from my savings. So I made £44.68. And so this is from my high yield savings accounts. I haven't included my cash ISA. I do count this as an income stream, and I will explain in a minute. In the UK, when you're a higher rate taxpayer, you can only earn £500 on interest before you have to start paying tax on it. I've been keeping a track of how much interest I'm making. I should be fine. I will be just under that £500 limit, so I shouldn't have to pay tax. At the moment, my high yield savings accounts are all around 4.5%. So they are above inflation, which is great. But it is essentially a little bit of free money. And I could leave it in the savings accounts and just let that interest compound. But I have considered skimming a little bit off the top and investing into something else like Bitcoin or gold. So it's something I'm exploring. Be really interested to hear what people think about that. Yes, I know I can leave it in, it will compound, but I am also just seeing it as, like, free money that I can essentially experiment with. On to the next one, so fourth one. So I sold some shares, and these were old shares, and in total I made about £33 profit. So this was from my stocks and shares ISA on Hargreaves Lansdown. So I currently have two portfolios. So I have one with Hargreaves Lansdown, which is my original one, where I bought funds, didn't know what the hell I was doing. And a lot of those funds overlap and they weren't particularly high growth. And then I have a new portfolio that I'm setting up on Trading 212 where I'm a lot better informed and it's performing a lot better. So what I plan to do is move my portfolio from Hargreaves Lansdown over to Trading 212. The shares that I sold were from two funds that I invested in a long time ago. They've been underperforming, and when they just tipped over into a profit, I decided to sell them, and then I withdrew that money and paid it into Trading 212. It didn't make sense to do any kind of transfer because I didn't want to stay in that fund and it doesn't exist on Trading 212. In total, it was around £2,000, but the profit was only about £33. I do have more of my portfolio on Hargreaves Lansdown, which has much bigger gains, to move over to Trading 212, and I will be doing that. In future, I would love to do some videos on Trading 212 just to help other people get to grips with the platform. I do really like it as a platform, and I would like to also show my portfolio and also share my method of how I'm planning to invest and how I'm planning to protect myself as we are going through what is potentially an AI bubble. And finally, number 5, and this was a bit more of a bonus, was a bank switch. So I earned £175 from that bank switch, which was switching to RBS. So this is another favourite, and I do always see them as a quick win, and it genuinely is easy money so long as you're organised and stay on top of things. So that's everything for October. My total side income was £1,196.33. Combined with my main salary, that's £5,729.33, which is insane. The main bulk of this is that cat sitting money. And going forwards, I do need to evaluate or explore what I'm going to do from a tax perspective. I do think this is going to, any income I earn after this will then go into my pension. Ultimately, I am really happy with this month. It has been a great month, and one where I am just really getting started. I think my next month is definitely going to be down. But ultimately, I think this video just shows how these income streams can add up. Looking ahead, there are other income streams I want to explore. So Vinted is one, that would just be a one-off. I just need to do a wardrobe clear out. But another one is Etsy. I know like pretty much everyone and their dog is on Etsy. But I do have some good ideas, and I am quite creative. I almost studied art at university, and I have been designing some digital prints. And so the plan would be to sell those digital prints. And if they do sell well, then I might turn it into a larger print on demand service and, hopefully be able to sell them on coasters and t-shirts as well. I would love to be able to set that up by the end of the year, but it's really, it really just depends on my time. I have realized that starting a YouTube channel is quite time consuming. So filming and editing does take up a lot of time, but we'll see. If I don't get my Etsy store up and running by the end of the year, then it would be something that I definitely, channel a lot of energy into in the beginning of next year. And, as you can probably tell, I'm still figuring this all out. But it is really motivating to see this money coming in already. If you're also experimenting with side hustles or you have your own side hustles, then I do hope that this video has given you some inspiration or even some ideas. I'm going to continue sharing what I'm earning, what's working, what's not. And if that sounds interesting for you, then please remember to hit like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.